for you.
Welcome to Society Cabaret Online, everyone. Hi, I'm Dave Schweiskuth. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And thanks for waiting while we got a few last little things together. Before we get started, I would like to point out some future events that you might also like to join us at. The next curtain call, which is Society Cabaret's open mic night. It's hosted by the wonderful Bill Cooper, and the next one is on Friday, May 7th. The day after that, Saturday, May 8th, we'll have a showcase. It Takes Two, with 3 artist couples telling their stories. Jeff Becker and Don Martin from the Bay Area, whom you'll also hear tonight. Manny and Melissa Fernandez from San Diego, and Andrew and Maeve Smith from Sonoma. In June, curtain call will be on Friday the 4th. And then on Saturday, June 5th, will be the show Best of the Boards with Rick Hernandez and Trenton Morant and Jessica Fisher, also from up and down the West Coast, telling about their best experiences in the theater, on the stage, and also in the audience. There's more info about all of those, and tickets are on societycabaret.com. And with that, let's show you what we've got for you tonight.
Up to here, but don't pass the plate, folks, don't pass the cup. I figure whenever you're down and out, the only way is up, and I'll be up like a rosebud high on the vine. Don't thumb your nose, but take a tip from mine. I'm a little bit short of the elbow room, but let me get me some, and look up, well, here I come. Nobody in the world was ever without a prayer. How can you win the world when nobody knows you're there? Kid, when you need the crowd, the tickets are hard to sell. Still, you can lead the crowd if you can get up and yell. Looky, looky here, folks, dear folks, we're folks, here to Lisa Hill. But in a pinch, we'll take an acre, we'll take an inch, and make it pay. So what do you say? We'll give the Wildcat a hip hooray, hey, hey. A little bit short of the elbow room, but let me get me some. If all that it takes is a little hot air to fill a vacuum, then I'll be up like a rosebud high on the vine. Don't thumb your nose, but take a tip from mine. A little bit short of the elbow room, but let me get me some. And look out, world, hear me shout, world, hey, look out, world, here I come. Thank you.
That was Catherine Roberts singing a song that Carolyn Leigh wrote with Cy Coleman for Lucille Ball to sing in the musical Wildcat in 1960. Welcome, everybody, to In Love with Carolyn Leigh. This is Society Cabaret's Songs and Their Stories, in which we look at where the songs that we love came from. Tonight, we're celebrating Carolyn Leigh, one of America's greatest lyricists. She wrote wonderful songs, and we have an outstanding cast to sing them, and I am absolutely thrilled about what we have for you tonight. I admit there's a hitch. We don't know as much about Carolyn Leigh as we do about some other famous songwriters. No one has written a biography of her yet, but she herself said, "It's great fun to write about a subject you know little about. If you know too much, it ends up as a lecture." So, off we go. Carolyn Leigh was born Carolyn Rosenthal in the Bronx in 1926. Like so many great songwriters, she took a pen name. I suspect that she based it on the name of her first husband, Julius Levine. They married young, and they can't have been rich. Even after marriage, she had to work. I doubt that they had a lot of elbow room. She wrote continuity for radio, and she started to write lyrics on the side. Her first lyric to be performed was something about Gulf Crest gasoline. And then, when she made a phone call one day and was accidentally connected to a music publisher, she said, "Hey, look me over," or, something like that. And she got hired. The first song that she wrote for them made money, but it was an R&B number, nothing like her later work. And in later life, she never wanted to talk about it. You heard it just before the show started. "I'm waiting just for you." But it wasn't long before she really struck oil. Barbara Early will tell you all about it.
Hey everyone. So Carolyn Leigh had only been writing songs for 2 years when she set the words to this next song to a 1939 Johnny Richards melody. And she wrote them after she was visiting her father in the hospital. He was there with a heart problem, but the words may as well have been about her own bright prospects. Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. For it's hard, you will find, to be narrow of mind if you're young at heart. You can go to extremes with impossible schemes. You can laugh when your dreams fall apart at the seams. And life gets more exciting with each passing day. And love is either in your heart or on its way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, look at all you'll derive just by being alive. And here is the best part: you have a head start if you are among the very young at heart. Young at heart. If you're young at heart, and if you should survive to 105, think of all you'll derive out of being alive. And here's the best part: you have a head start if you are among the very Well, thank you very much. Frank Sinatra actually recorded that song, and it was a huge hit for him, and it was put in a movie he was doing. He was already working in the movie, and they changed the title to match the song. And Frank insisted that they change the ending to the movie so that instead of his character driving off into a snowstorm with his lights turned off, and he made them change the ending so that it was him living happily ever after. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Babs. That was great. One of the people who noticed Young at Heart was Mary Martin, who was looking for songwriters for a new theatrical production of Peter Pan. Carolyn Leigh was hired to write the lyrics, and she got to pick her composer, Mark Charlap, right behind me here. The first version of Peter Pan wasn't a full musical, but a play with occasional songs. It premiered right here in San Francisco at the Curran Theater in 1954. Merrill Grant has a song from that show for us.
Thank you. Yeah, she must have been absolutely delighted that so early in her career she was already writing songs for Mary Martin. Conceited? Not me. It's just that I am what I am, and I'm me. When I look at myself and I see in myself all the wonderful things that I see, if I'm pleased with myself, I have every good reason to be. I got a crow. I'm just the cleverest fella 'twas ever my fortune to know. I taught a trick to my shadow to stick to the tip of my toe. I got a crow. I gotta brag. I think it's sweet. I have fingers and feet. I can wiggle and wag. I can climb trees and play tag with the breeze in the meadows below. I got a crow. If I were a very ordinary, everyday thing, I'd never be heard cock-a-doodling round like a bird so naturally. When I discover the cleverness of a remarkable me, how can I hide it when deep down inside it just tickles me so that I gotta let go and crow? I'm really a rare thing, such a fair thing. I can't keep still. I'm bursting with pride, and I just couldn't keep it inside if I tried so naturally. When I discover the cleverness of a remarkable me, how can I hide it when deep down inside it just tickles me so that I gotta let go and crow?
That was fantastic. The director decided, I think it was Jerome Robbins, decided that Peter Pan needed more songs before it could move to Broadway. And he hired a more experienced team, Julie Stein and Comden and Green, to write them, and probably also to lend their reputation to the show. But The Charlap and Leigh song stayed at the heart of the show, and it was Leigh's biggest Broadway success right at the beginning of her career. It's been revived successfully 3 times so far, and it's been produced on television 5 times. After Carolyn Leigh's work for Peter Pan was over, she spent a few years working with Philip Springer. They wrote popular songs, and they wrote for theater as well. They wrote songs for Ben Bagley's Shoestring Revues and for the Ziegfeld Follies in 1957. Here's Barbara Early again.
Hi. Philip Springer is actually still around. He still writes about 35 songs a year. He has a website, composerofsantababy.com. Okay, but aside from that song, he is not so well known today. Now, the track I'm going to sing to, it was performed by G. Scott Lacey, and it was inspired by a track I found on YouTube of Mr. Springer playing this tune last May on his 94th birthday. How little we know, how much to discover, what chemical forces flow from lover to lover. How little we understand what touches off that tingle, that sudden explosion when 2 tingles intermingle. Who cares to define what chemistry this is? Who cares with your lips on mine how ignorant bliss is? So long as you kiss me and the world around us shatters, how little it matters, how little we know. Understand what touches off that tingle, that chemical explosion when 2 tingles intermingle. Who cares to define what chemistry this is? Who cares with your lips on mine how ignorant bliss is? So long as you kiss me and the world around us shatters, how little it matters, how little we know.
Thank you, Babs. Leigh and Springer's chemistry didn't last, though, and Carolyn Leigh was just getting started. A lot of you know about the Brill Building. It's an office building at 49th and Broadway. In the 50s and 60s, it was full of music publishers. In 1959, in the Brill Building's luncheonette, Carolyn Leigh struck up a conversation with another young songwriter, Cy Coleman. Marilyn Cooney, tell us more.
Well, they went upstairs and wrote this song. It seems to describe that very moment. And the next day, Sammy Davis Jr. recorded it. A moment of madness, that's all this affair was. I looked up, there was a kiss to be claimed, a moment of madness, sheerest insanity, when I in my vanity thought love could be tamed, but it couldn't be tamed. It soon gained control of me, and the kiss to be claimed the heart and the soul of me. Oh, you could say what the hey, could just walk away when that moment of madness is through. But what do you do when the moment is gone and the madness goes on, and it couldn't be tamed? It soon gained control of me, that kiss to be claimed the heart and the soul of me. Oh, you could say what the hey, just walk away when that moment of madness is through. But what do you do when the moment is gone, but the madness goes on and on and on and on and on?
And thus began one of the greatest collaborations in American song. We've already seen that Carolyn Leigh was a brilliant lyricist. She could write and phrase and rhyme better than anyone. Endless wit, no rough spots, no cliches, no cheap tricks. But another way that she really stood out is that she wrote more genuinely different, insightful love songs than anyone before her. Popular music is mostly love songs, so that's saying something. She wrote songs about everything from the first glance across the room to the hate mail years afterward, and she wrote most of those songs with Cy Coleman. I need to be clear at this point that, as far as anyone says, Carolyn Leigh and Cy Coleman's relationship was professional, not romantic. They were busy romancing other people. While Carolyn and Cy were working together, Carolyn and her first husband divorced, and she married her second. Meanwhile, Cy was a well-known playboy. He dated society girls. He was in the gossip columns all the time. But Carolyn and Cy's professional relationship was also very personal and very intense. And she said herself, "I can't write a song unless I feel it." Cy was a juggler. He was always working on several projects at once, so he was never stalled. They wrote pop songs and they wrote shows, and a couple of the shows made it to Broadway. One was Wildcat, the show that our opener came from, and the other was Little Me, which was the life story of an entertainer, Belle Poitrine, who social climbs from husband to husband. All of the husbands were played by Sid Caesar, or, in our case, Charles Evans.
So this song was sung by a club owner who knew exactly what Belle wanted. A job in his club. And I want to share sound on this, Tim, if I could.
Okay, you're live. Give it a shot.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. I've got your number. I've got your number. I know you inside out. You ain't no Eagle Scout. You're all at sea. Oh yes, you brag a lot, wave your own flag a lot, but you're unsure a lot. You're a lot like me. I've got your number and what you're looking for. And what you're looking for just suits me fine. We'll break the rules a lot. We'll be damn fools a lot. But then why should we not? How could we not combine when I've got your number? I've got the glow you've got. I've got your number, and baby, you know you got mine. We'll break the rules a lot. We'll be damn fools a lot. Well, then why should we not? How could we not combine when I've got your number? I've got that glow you've got. I've got your number, and baby, you know you've got mine.
Carolyn related to that one all too well. And a lot of us here do too, would give anything for a job in a club. Now, please welcome Robin Huntington with a song introduced by Tony Bennett.
Thank you. My height, just average. My weight, just average. And my IQ is like you'd estimate, just average. Evidently, he does not agree. Consequently, if I seem at sea, it amazes me.
Oh, I love this song.
Simply amazes me what he sees in me, dazzles me, dazes me, that I learned to clip my wings and soften my ways. These are ordinary things, unworthy of praise. Yet he praises me, just knowing I try for him. When so many would, if they could, die for him. I'm the one who's worldly wise, and nothing much fazes me. But to see me in his eyes just amazes me. Remember how earlier in the show Carolyn was misdirected to publishing agent Buddy Morris? Well, 7 years later, he is still her publisher, and she wrote these words in gratitude of his support of her work. That I learned to clip my wings
soften my ways. These are ordinary things, unworthy of praise. Yet he praises me, just knowing I try for him. When so many would, if they could, die for him. I'm the one who's worldly wise, and nothing much phases me. But to see me in his eyes, it just amazes me. Get to see me in his eyes, it just amazes me.
At the peak of Cy and Carolyn's partnership, they wrote major hits for Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra. Maybe you've heard them. Not Like This. Here's Donald Martin and Jeff Becker.
The Best Is Yet to Come started out as a riff that Cy would play in the nightclub while Carolyn was listening. He didn't think singers would take to the complicated intervals, but Carolyn wrote words to it, and now the words, "The best is yet to come," are inscribed on Frank Sinatra's gravestone. Pretty saucy choice if you know the song. And hit it. All right. Oh. Sorry.
Live.
Of the tree of life, I just picked me a plum. You came along and everything started to hum. Still there's a real good bet, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come, and won't it be fine? You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't seen it shine. Wait till the warm-up's underway. Wait till our eyes have met. You think you've seen that sunshine day. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Your fingers in my hair, that sly come hither stare, that strips my conscience bare, it's witchcraft. And there is no defense for it, the heat is too intense for it. What more could common sense for it do? 'Cause it's witchcraft, wicked witchcraft. And although I know it's really taboo, when it arouses the heat in me, my heart says yes indeed to me. Proceed with what you're leading me to.
Wait till your charms to arrive for these arms to surround. You think you've flown before, but you ain't left the ground. Wait till you're locked in my embrace. Wait till I have you near. Wait till you've seen that sunshine blaze. Ain't nothing like it here. The best is yet to come, and won't it be fine?
'Cause it's witchcraft, wicked witchcraft. And although I know it's strictly taboo,
The best is yet to come, come the day you're mine.
it's such an ancient pitch, and one I wouldn't switch, 'cause there's no nicer witch than you.
The best is yet to come.
Yeah. And witchcraft started off as an idea that Carolyn had to write a song that was unconventional musically, just like its subject matter. But it became one of the best known hits of the era.
The first public performance of The Best Is Yet to Come wasn't by Tony Bennett, by the way. It was by Cy Coleman himself on the premiere of the Playboy's Penthouse television show. Cy also wrote the theme for the show. That's what's playing right now. And Carolyn Leigh wrote words to that theme, though I've never heard them. They're about how you should give your man his freedom because he's a playboy. Maybe someone can sing it for me sometime. Carolyn and Cy's work together wasn't all hearts and hits. They had argued with each other from the beginning. That's how they worked together. If one didn't like what the other had written, they just refuse it. Once in an interview, Cy said that they had to work face to face because if one insulted the other over the phone, the other would just hang up and they wouldn't get the message. Don't hang up now, though, because Carol Luckenbach is about to let you have it.
Little technical difficulty. What happened? I love you, all right, I love you. You're made of solid rock, I'm only made of clay. Let go the hammerlock, I'm much too weak to get away. I'll say it, I'll cite it, in blood I'll even write it. Here is the victim you would cut down. Now that you killed me, you can lie down. Just so we both can get some sleep tonight. I love you, all right. Mountain, damn it, will kneel before Muhammad. If you're in love with me, maybe it serves you right. Let's put a finish to this nagging day and night. I love you, you weasel. I need you like a measle. When I am lying like a dead stone, this will be written on my headstone. Here lies the victim of an unfair fight. I love you, I love you, I love you. Good night. That's a rare song written by Johnny White, recorded recently. He knew Cy. He must have gotten it from Cy personally or from his papers. Seems like a snapshot of Cy and Carolyn.
Carolyn and Cy's work together, as we just saw, wasn't all hearts and hits. The fairest way that someone described Carolyn's working personality was that she knew what she wanted to do, she was usually right, and she always insisted on it. When Little Me was being developed, there was a can-can number that didn't work, despite revision after revision. The director put his foot down and cut the number. Carolyn grabbed a policeman from the street outside the theater and demanded that he arrest the director for violating her contract. But the number stayed cut, and they replaced it with this. Pardon me, miss, but I've never done this with a real live girl. Straight off the farm with an actual armful of real live girl. Pardon me if your affectionate squeeze fogs up my goggles and buckles my knees. I'm simply drowned in the sight and the sound and the scent and the feel of a real live girl. Nothing can beat getting swept off your feet by a real live girl. Dreams in your bunk don't compare with a hunk of a real live girl. Speaking of miracles, this must be it. Just when I started to learn how to knit, I'm all in stitches from finding what riches a waltz can reveal with a real live girl. I've seen photographs and facsimiles that have set my heart off in a whirl, but no work of art gets you right in the heart like a real live girl. Take your statues of Juno and the Venus de Milo. When a fellow wants, you know, who wants substitutes, I'll overlook every one in the book for a real sexy Sally or Susabelle. Take your Venetian or Roman or Grecian ideal, I take something more usable. Girls were like fellas was once my belief. What a reversal and what a relief. I'll take the flowering hat and the towering heel and the squeal of a real live girl. Go be a holdout for Helen of Troy. I am a healthy American boy. I'd rather gape at the dear little shape of the stern and the keel of a full-time vocational, all-operational girl. Another sore point was that Cy wasn't always around when Carolyn needed him. Before he was a composer, he was a talented performer on the piano. He played in clubs regularly throughout his career, and he put in his Broadway contracts that he was allowed to take time to do that. He even had regular gigs in Chicago while he was working on shows in New York. Barry Lloyd.
When Carolyn and Cy couldn't fight out a song if Cy wasn't there, they just couldn't do it. So they wrote this song for little me, but do you suppose Carolyn might have had her own situation in mind? Though now and then your problems fall within the errant mate department. Forget the transatlantic call. Don't notify the State Department. For when our foreign shores I am, very truly yours I am. But if inclined to play, I am. Dear heart, that's the way I am. When in Spain, for reasons I can't explain, I remain enjoying a brew. Don't deplore my fondness for Fundador. You know how a Fundador can lead to a few. And baby, when in Rome, I do as the Romans do. If perchance I'm saying farewell to France, and romance drops in from the blue, cher amour, I beg of you, please endure my taking a brief detour with somebody new. It's just that when in Rome, I do as the Romans do. And though from Italy, I lie to you prettily, why think of me bitterly? You know that you are true. Except now and then in Rome, I get that old yen in Rome. And naturally, when in Rome, I do as the Romans do. Best wishes from Napoli. Don't cable me snappily to tell me we're through. 'Cause once again in Rome, in somebody's den in Rome, well, pussycat, when in Rome I do as the Romans, disregard the signs and the omens. When in Rome I do as the Romans do.
Thank you, Cy. I mean Barry. So, of course, a combative relationship that they had couldn't last forever. Whether or not Cy was willing to work that way, their other creative partners weren't. When the team from Little Me got back together to write Sweet Charity, Carolyn was included out. Dorothy Fields was hired to do the lyrics for that show, and Cy and Carolyn's professional partnership was over. Charles will tell us the way it is. Yes, you may.
These are the ropes, the tricks of the trade, the rules of the road. You're one of those dopes for whom they were made, the rules of the road. You follow that kiss, recklessly miss a bend of the road. Then suddenly this end of the road. The love is a hoax, a glittering stream of little white lights. These are the jokes. What if they bring a tear to your eye? Well, love often shows a funny return. The brighter it glows, the longer you burn. And Lord only knows love has little concern for the fools of the road. That's how it goes. You live and you learn the rules of the road. Well, love often shows a funny return. The brighter it glows, the longer you burn. And Lord only knows love has little concern for the fools of the road. So that's how it goes. You live and you learn the rules of the road.
Carolyn and Cy did get back together occasionally after that. They wrote Pass Me By for the film Father Goose in 1965. That was a hit for Peggy Lee. And they wrote some standalone songs. Let's take a glance back with Jeff Becker.
Carolyn must have wondered whether she'd blown it with Cy based on this song. It's called On Second Thought. It seemed a good idea at the moment to show His Royal Highness the door. It seemed a great relief after all the grief that you let Him and you before. It seemed a great idea at the moment to show your independence once more. But on second thought, oh, on second thought, you wonder what to do with your time. It seems your independence has flown. So you list His thoughts and insist your thoughts or far outnumber your own. You can keep your hand for a moment, and you can keep your hands off the phone. But on second thought, on second thought, it's terrible how many small, wonderful things you recall on second thought after you're all alone.
But Carolyn Leigh forged ahead. She tried out one collaborator after another. She wrote one song with Harold Arlen. It was titled Bad for Each Other, so you can guess how that collaboration went. She and Richard Adler, he's the guy that composed Pajama Game and Damn Yankees, contracted to do a musical version of the movie Roman Holiday, but they broke up too. She eventually got together with a film composer, Elmer Bernstein, No, he wasn't related to Leonard, and yes, he pronounced it that way. They get that all the time. They wrote a musical about Wall Street called How Now, Dow Jones. Now, Wall Street is what Carolyn Leigh was talking about when she said it was fun to write about a subject that you knew little about. But the show made it to the street that she cared about, Broadway. Please allow me to introduce Broadway baby Joanna Gray.
Oops, I apparently was muted. So I will now say what I said. So not only did Leigh write the lyrics for this show, but she also came up with the idea for it. Will everyone here kindly step to the rear and let a winner lead the way? Here's where we separate the notes from the noise, the men from the boys, the rose from the poison ivy back in the bunch. I came up with a hunch, it was a time to get 'em day. It's one of those spells where you hear the right bells and your horoscope tells you to say, will everyone here kindly step to the rear and let a winner lead the way? Hear the trumpets begin to blare, and now I'm Washington upon the Delaware. Will everyone here kindly step to the rear and let a winner lead the way? Here's where we separate the duck from the quack, the ace from the pack, the pip from the Macintosh is back in the group. I came up with a scoop, this was a time to rise and say, I've got in my eyes such a jubilant sky that the 4th of July will seem gray. Will everyone here kindly step to the rear and let a winner lead the way? Oh, hi. You are so amazing. Oh, thank you. I guess part of being the winner is having groupies. Here she comes, and things are thumbs up. She shows the bums up all down the way. Here she comes, a heck of a seller, so follow her smeller. I'd say, okay. Back in the bunch, I came up with a hunch. It wasn't up and Adam day. It's one of those spells where you hear the right bells and your horoscope tells you to say, will everyone here kindly step to the rear and let a winners lead the way? So the critics really liked Leigh's lyrics for How Now Down Jones, but they slammed the book. And thanks to her idea credit, they gave her as much of the blame as the guy who actually wrote the book. The show ran for about 6 months. It wasn't a flop, it wasn't a smash, but I think she's a winner. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Joanna. I don't know why a sky seeming gray would be negative.
Well, I don't understand that either.
Leigh's life had some downs after that. In 1970, she broke up with her second husband. He had been the love of her life, but she wasn't the only love in his. She said she decided to marry her third husband because she liked his name, Jim Bodine. But he was as interested in her money as he was in her, and they didn't last long. And then another man she was engaged to was killed in an accident. Around then, a gossip column reported that she'd lost 103 pounds in hypnotherapy. She was required to by a contract with by her contract with United Artists. They needed to protect their investment, but that was only a temporary victory in a lifelong battle. Professionally, though, she never slowed down. She wrote whole shows with Morton Gould and Lee Pockris and with Coleman and Julie Stein. I think 4 entire shows that were never produced or didn't make it to Broadway. And she worked with Marvin Hamlish on Smile, about contestants in a beauty pageant. Here's Merrill Grant again with a song from that show.
Hey, thank you, Dave. So Lee once said, actually in an interview, in all seriousness, it will not be okay with me if I don't make it. Watch for me on the 6 o'clock news. Me and my dreams for all the world to see. Watch for me on the 6 o'clock news. Feeling like my ideal somebody, somebody who's a real somebody, somebody for the folks in Antelope Valley. To talk about Sunday, to make 'em feel proud. Their little star so far from Antelope Valley lived up to a promise, stood out from the crowd. Watch for me on the 6 o'clock news. Somewhere between commercials, there I'll be. Watch and see on the 6 o'clock news, the girl on the right with the stars in her eyes, that incredible sight, that's me. Watch for me on the 6 o'clock news. Somewhere between commercials, there I'll be. Watch and see on the 6 o'clock news, the girl on the right with the stars in her eyes, that incredible sight, that's me. So on November 19th, 1983, she was 57. Shortly after the first workshop performance of Smile, Carolyn Leigh died suddenly of a heart attack.
But the songs from Smile weren't her last work. Please welcome back Barry Lloyd.
Carolyn Leigh lived near Julie Stein, and they've been friends ever since he started working with her on Peter Pan. They play poker every Wednesday night, and on what would be one of the last Wednesdays of her life, they wrote this song. spaces, killing time, making small talk, faking pleasure, killing time, punching pillows, lunching late and missing you, kissing someone, missing you, dealing aces, feeling old, matching socks and hatching plans and catching cold. Don't it slay you, knowing I'm spending nights, or is it years? Dulling senses, lulling fears, chilling dreams, spilling tears, killing time. Carolyn Leigh's sister thought that when she wrote that song, she already felt herself slipping away from life.
Of course, when Carolyn Leigh made that comment to a reporter about how it wouldn't be okay if she didn't make it, she already had made it. She said that in a story about how successful she had been, but she just couldn't get enough of a good thing. And neither can we, so please welcome back Robin Huntington.
This is one of the songs Coleman and Leigh wrote to audition as writers for the new musical Gypsy. They didn't get the job, as Ethel Merman didn't want to work or sing with songs by unknown songwriters. However, Tony Bennett recorded the tune and made it a huge hit that climbed to number 20 on the Hot 100. He calls me Firefly, 'cause oh my, I radiate moon glow. I want none of that noon glow. I start to glitter when the sun goes down by 8 p.m. It's mayhem. I turn the brights up, I light up and give him a call. Hey, take me to the Firefly's ball. But when he gets me there, sets me there, does he get to pet me there and grab him some glow? No, I'm a gadabout, mad about, burning every lad about, while keeping him moaning low. Oh, Firefly, why can't I latch on to him? No, how? Oh, how he loves me, but gee, while I set the night on Firefly, shining all the light from me. Does he get to put me there and grab him some glow? No, I'm a mad about, burning every lad about, while keeping him moaning low. Oh, firefly, why can't I latch on to him? No, how? Oh, how he loves me, but gee, while I set the night on firefly, shining all the light on, shining all the light on, shining all the light on me.
Thanks, Robin. And that's our show. So, personal thanks from me to every one of our fantastic singers. I really appreciate you being part of this. And also thanks to Tim in the booth, who's been working hard this whole time. I've just pasted a link to the program into the chat. If you have any trouble, just go ahead and click that link, and you can see who wrote everything, who all the composers were, and so on. If you have any trouble downloading it, grab me afterwards. And we'll leave the Zoom session running for a bit so everyone can congratulate the singers that they haven't yet and say goodbye. We'll do this again in a few months, something like this in a few months. If you have any suggestions for a future show, or if you'd like to be in one, let me know. Thank you very, very much for coming, and good night.